Today we're going to show you how to put a rear blade kit in a Smith Wesson revolver. Now we've got the factory Smith Wesson set here, and we've got our Brownells spanner wrench here. So we're going to get started. First thing you do is put on some safety glasses. There's a detent spring in there that could get you. It's minuscule, so if it gets in your eye, you might never get it out. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to break this. And when I say break it, I mean we're going to screw this clockwise all the way on your windage screw until it snaps off. There's a reduced section just under the head that is designed to break when you tighten it up all the way and keep going. So here we go. There it went. Now don't lose that little detent in there by taking this out too soon. There's a little minuscule detent in there. So now what I'm going to do is push the sight blade over this way, and now I've got control of it to where I can use my spanner wrench to engage those little slots. Now sometimes the staking is such that it doesn't allow you to do that, and if not, you can just grab it with a pair of pliers or something and turn it out, or possibly, if it's loose enough, you can turn it out with your hand, because they're not tight. This one's coming out by hand right now. So take it out like this, and that's it. That's as you can see, that's where it broke right there. So now comes the tricky part, where we take the other side of the screw off that has the detent and the spring in. So what I'm going to do is shove it all the way over where I can see where that detent is. And capture it with my thumb. And that's what I'm talking about right there. That little tiny pointed detent, and there's a spring underneath there. So easy to lose, and if you don't have one laying around the shop, you are dead in the water till you get one. So, now we can take out our sight blade. This one's a little banged up, so it doesn't want to come out so easily, but it's going to come out. There it is. As you can see, this ear here has been banged on. It must have gotten dropped at some point. So we'll put the new one in. And to do that, it's pretty easy. You take your new screw and leaf. The leaf goes in. Check your screw, make sure it goes in easily. Slide the leaf in place. Start the screw. Tightens up, just use your screwdriver. This screwdriver is, our number is 210-3, by the way. So if you have one of those in your set, you are ready to go. Once you have the screw screwed in this far to where you can cover up the hole with the sight like that, we're going to rotate it upwards. Probably just use the blade for that. My fingers are a little slippery. Rotate the gun up just a skosh. Now we can insert the spring and detent, and I've got a special tool to put the spring in, a small paper clip. And the reason I do this is this spring is so tiny, it is easy to drop, but with a paper clip on there, you can just put it in like that, and it's there. Now the detent, and the detent has a little stem. It has a small section here to go into the spring, and then on the other side it's pointed, and that's what gives you your clicks when it bears against the sight housing. Now we're ready to put it in the detent, and I'm going to cheat a little bit and use needle nose pliers for this because, well, I'm not as steady as I used to be. So put that in there like that. Now we post that up, and we have to depress that detent and then turn the screw in. Well, push the screw in at this point. So push down and in. There it goes. Sure looks easy when it does that. Now we'll set up our screwdriver again and pick up the nut and make sure that the little slots are facing outward. You're going to need those in a second. Start it in there. The sight body will align it, and then just turn the screw till it goes in. Now take your spanner and use that to hold it steady, to keep it from turning while you're using the screwdriver on the main screw. Once it stops, you back it off a quarter turn. That gives you a nice tight sight, but yet it'll click freely. It'll allow you to make adjustments nice and easy. Okay, we're almost done. Next step is to stake it, and for that we'll take it out of the vise, put it on the table, and we're going to whack this thing with a punch. But before we do, we're going to support the sight with a little block of wood. You don't want to support the gun, you want to support the sight because it's taking the blow. So we have a special tool for this, a special staking tool, but if you're only going to do one, you can get by with a center punch just fine. In fact, I've got one here I ground just for the occasion. It was just a broken punch that I went ahead and ground a cone on. So you center it up in the hole, make sure you're bearing on that wood there or on something solid, and give it a good whack. Then give it another one. You're not trying to drive it through the sight, so it doesn't have to be super hard. Now the sight tool that we carry, the staking tool, will drive it into those little slots a little bit, so you can take your center punch and just work it over one side, do one of the slots, and then work it over and do the other one. And that's really all it takes to keep it from turning. So now when you go to adjust your Smith & Wesson sight, you've got all the windage you want. Center it up, and you're good to go. Time to go to the range, zero it in, and you're done. That's all there is to it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.